just for change, I'm going to show off. The first time I saw the E112 and E10, I was in the Palms Hotel in Las Vegas in a $10,000 a night suite, back when that was the cheap rate for it. Because at the time of the Consumer Electronics Show, JL Audio take a suite in the Palms and show off their kit. So how long have the E-Sub actually been in production? Matty, ask you, how long has it been around, sir?
Approximately 2.5 years now.
And Gavin, how long have these subs actually been being sold by AV-Tech-Solutions?
Close to that. Yeah, close to 3 years.
And then, so tell us a little bit about this. The E-Sub is a less expensive product, or where does it actually sit? Who wants to tell us about the E-Sub?
It's basically a mid-level or mid-tiered product. So this sits just below the Fathom series of products that basically JL Audio have, which is their flagship range.
Yeah.
With the HTW7 drive unit. So
and above the Dominions that we've just been looking at in the other videos.
Yes.
Now it has to be said that you've got to position these things. That you're saying this is mid-tier. The Dominions are 500 watts and a 2.5 inch travel on an 8.
Yes.
Or 900 watts and a 2.7 inch travel on a 10. Tell us about this flipping great W7 transducers inside, because there is one without any clothes on sat next to you. That is a brute. What is that thing?
This is actually a dedicated, or fundamentally is a driver that's been developed from the ground up by JL Audio. It's one of their first home theatre dual spider drive units. So what I mean by that is you've got a spider there and you've got a spider at the top.
So those are suspension units. Tip it a bit further, I will zoom in. That spider is the name of the yellow bit that we can see.
Yes.
Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn my lamp on there. Let's get some extra. Oh, look at that. It shows up better. Awesome. So those linen spiders, as they call, they're like part of the suspension.
Yes, they are.
Gotcha.
So it basically keeps the driver more linear during long excursion, basically.
So it can go right in and right out fierce distances.
Yes, 3 inches peak to peak excursion. It's a pretty serious drive unit. Now what it does have, it has the magnet structure at the back has a drilled and tapped screw thread in the back.
Tapped?
Yes.
There's a thread in it?
Yes, there's a thread tapped at the back, which basically allows the unit to be supported at the back of the cabinet, because it's a pretty substantial piece of weight.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So the actual transducer is itself structural to the cabinet?
Yes.
That's hectic.
And then what you have is, like we've mentioned in the Dominion series, the front baffle plate is actually made out of steel, which forms the front baffle plate for the driver. So it's a single former. So
when you change the driver, that's what you get. You get the front baffle as well, and it weighs a ton. The box itself was epic.
Yeah, so it basically provides extra rigidity to the cabinet structure.
And I guess the other questions are, Gavin, show us around the back of this thing now, because we've got to look at all the plug holes. These are, of course, compatible with the receiver transmitter system that we looked at earlier in the previous video.
Yes, they are, but this doesn't have the Ethernet port, so it doesn't self-power, but you can still use the wireless kit.
Gotcha, so you have to actually turn this thing on, as it were.
Yes.
Gotcha. It still has the high-level proprietary plug hole, do?
Yeah, it does indeed. This unit also has a built-in two-way crossover.
Oh.
So you can integrate it into a two-channel system to cut off, rather than just integrate it to blend with your main speakers, you can actually cut off whatever frequency you don't want them to do and feed it just through the sub.
Wow. So that I'm just two-way. It doesn't. Most crossovers are what's known as passive crossovers. They just stop stuff going through it. But that's a little bit more sophisticated. It's taking hold of the signal, chopping out, and then feeding onwards as an active crossover to your main speakers, so they're not being given that deep bass, and then sending the deep bass to itself to the woofer.
Yeah, that's correct.
Allows you to get a cleaner integration.
So make no mistake, that is not just a little bit of a crossover to allow the most pass. That's a very sophisticated, proper integration type two-way crossover. That's impressive. And how much is one of them?
This in the E110 hash is $16.50.
Wow, serious price for a serious piece of
kit. And in
kit.
gloss, as shown here,
yes,
$17.50.
There's that £100 extra for the. Well, I'm going to put in a piece of the video just in front of this where I caught you guys polishing it with the Maguire's. What's the name of the polish?
TechWax 2.
TechWax 2 from Maguire's. It's one of the JL Audio approved for fettlement and finer care there.
Yep.
God, crap, American accent. Piano black finish. It's so gorgeous. You can see the details in the discs just in the reflection of that cabinet. That's amazing. And the difference between the 10 and the 12 there?
The 12-inch unit has 1500 watts RMS with a 12-inch driver which has peak-to-peak excursion of 3 inches. This drive is a 10-inch drive unit with 1200 watts RMS, and it has a peak-to-peak excursion of 2.5 inches. Now, one of the really nice features of the E-sub, I think what you'll notice here is there's a lovely decorative magnetic panel here, which hides the control panel. So with the JL Audio logo. So once you've done your settings,
yes,
and you basically want a much neater, nicer look, it just mounts over the top. The other beauty of the E-sub is that you don't have to lean over like most products to try and set the sub up. It's got a top-mounted control panel.
Oh wow!
So you have on, off, and auto on-off.
Yes.
Master level. Then, like Gavin explained earlier, you have a crossover on and off switch, which engages a two-way crossover.
Yes.
Then you have basically your crossover frequency control, your phase from 0 to 280, and a polarity switch. Now, the interesting thing about this particular product as well is if you want to run multiple subs, you can actually daisy chain from the line outputs. If the crossover is off, it will give the same feed to the next sub. So basically, you can connect another set of RCAs from this sub into the E-sub, another E-sub, and it will feed exactly the same signal to it. So you can daisy chain multiple subs.
So in just the same way that you can do multiple subwoofer installations with the Dominion ones, if you really are a little bit power mad and you spent bigger money on this very serious piece of kit, you can still have multiples of them if you're completely power obsessed. Whoa. That is bonkers. Show us the back of the that 12 as well. Just I want to be sure that around too. Just show guys that it's kind of the same thing. But actually, what I'm really doing is just showing you the bloody mass of this thing as a man struggling. Yes. What do these things weigh?
The 10-inch is 24 kilos.
Whoa, that's 52.7 pounds. Not that I'm reading it off the computer. And that's the other thing is the 10-inch, 1.5 decibels down performance, as in where it's beginning to be less than perfectly flat, 25 hertz. That is what I call the fear register. So if that's 1.5 minus 3, that's a 10-inch woofer that goes practically to subsonics. So that's goosebumps. That's insane. What about the 12? What does that go down to at the 1.5 point? Do we know?
The 12, I wouldn't know off the top of my head.
But it's going to be below 25 hertz. That's
yes, it's at 19 hertz, I think. Down
19 hertz.
Down to 19 at 1.5.
Yeah, I'm going to name them. Yamaha. Pause for effect. They quote the F9, the frequency at which it's 9 decibels down. That's 1.5 dB. The F6, the frequency, the level at which it's 6 decibels down. These things, you can call elephants and frighten whales with JL Audio woofers. That's awesome. Guys, thank you so much. The product of the year, according to the Reviewer's Choice, well, that's an American magazine. They care about their stuff. I too am a reviewer, and I raved about the thing when I first got at it. But there we have it. That's the E-sub from JL Audio, and the website www.av-tech.
Do you want a little bit more then?
Yes, absolutely. Right, well, this is my influence and a little bit childish. These subwoofers are about an astonishing transient response, but we're also bragging about the massive excursion or cone travel, or X-Max. And I bullied Manny into turning this up a little bit beyond what he normally would, so with a test track. Go on, let's see this thing excursion, Manny. Press go, go on. Any distortion you might be experiencing will be because of the sound system in my camera failing to cope. I know that my lower frequency voice will be perfectly audible. That is awesome. Whoa. We really do need to hear these complete with systems, but just in terms of what the cone does, welcome to the E-sub.